What's going on, guys? Today we got another dungeon for 10.2. This is still the first week of it if you are not caught up in WoW. Uh, this time I'm gonna rock a survival hunter. I didn't do as well in this dungeon. I think that's kind of based on the fact survival hunter wants the new tier set, and the new tier set is hard to get right now when you don't raid like I don't. Um, I decided to run more of a no cooldown build, which I didn't like. Um, I don't like Mongoose Bite, and I don't like the fact that I don't have a cooldown. And basically, it feels like I don't have any damage. I could just be playing it wrong, but it felt like I was just struggling with damage through every pack. Although I was quote unquote struggling, I did do a consistent amount of damage each pull. I was never like not doing damage one pull, like let's say more of my marksman would do, where I don't have any cooldowns, I don't do any damage. So that is the one good thing about this build, but I still think the coordinated assault build is by far better. Moving on that, I also think the new tier set will help a whole ton. I think it's literally gonna save survival, which kind of sucks, and I hope they would rather, instead of making the tier sets like overpowered, they actually make the specs more just better in general. So this was my first 20 time this season. It's hard to time a 20 when you're only 447, I think I was at this point. I think I'm 449, and I have two set waiting for me as soon as I hit Keystone Master. I just need a couple more dungeons. But that's the problem with just doing dungeons. I don't have any gear. Like, the gear I've got, I think I've gotten like a ring, I've gotten a gun, and I think I've gotten a chest plate now. And like, which is good, but it's like for the amount of like dungeons I've done where I don't get loot, like it's kind of just awful. Which eventually I will get loot, and eventually I get to push higher keys. I already plan on pushing higher keys. I plan to do about every 20 this week if I can, maybe like 19s, 20s, 18s, like kind of around there. And then once I get 4 set, I will try out all 3 specs, see which one I like pushing on better, and then probably main push that, do some alternate keys here and there on other specs. Uh, this boss was really annoying for me on survival. I think mainly because the mage, every time I switched to the totem, he would switch to the same totem, and it just was like, what the heck are you doing? Like, stay with your totem, and everyone would get that totem down. Like, the paladin had to change just because the mage and I switched. Like, it was just a mess. Luckily, we still do it. Mage kind of bricking us again. Mage brains, not smart. But I thought when I was doing this build, I would have way more single target, but I just didn't feel it. It didn't feel like I had any single target. I didn't have any AoE, and it felt like that in like the other builds too. Now that like I think of it, like I have a 5 target cap on the kill shot build, and it takes so much to ramp up on that damage. Like it's just bad right now. They need to fix survival so bad. Luckily, the tier set's gonna be very good for us, so it's not a huge deal. The one good thing that a hunter brings is just the fact that I can CC a bunch of these incorporeals a lot, and other specs, well, other classes can't or choose not to. Mage. But I tried to as best as possible. The priest didn't do it as much on this one either. It was mainly me and the monk. Paladin takes a cast time, which I don't blame him, and mage does too. But mages they're casting anyways. Like yeah, they're mages. So I also want to talk about kind of some of the things I want. I think I want survival to kind of change. I think Fear of the Eagle is an amazing spell. I love it. I think that should stay. Coordinated Assault. I think really what needs to change is Coordinated Assault needs to be less of like a pet cooldown too. Like they need to get rid of the pet and go for more like guerrilla warfare tactics. Like not bring out a crossbow, a mini crossbow. Bring out like put more dots or like fire traps or something where you lay them down, like just things like that. You just lay them down, and like if they're gonna make it a bleed or like a dot build, which it kind of is, they need to just go full out. In my opinion, I think the fact that like Serpent Sting is a major part of our thing, and then you go and look at like Marksman and they use Serpent Sting all the time. Like it feels bad when other things are just taking our things. One thing I think is the bombs, they should stay. I think they make the rotation fun, and that's why I like survival so much, is because the bombs change your playstyle more and more. Now talking about these pulls, like I won't be doing any damage in these pulls anyways, because I wouldn't pop Coordinated Assault, which feels so bad. Like luckily I get an explosive shot out here. I try to CC, which you know takes time away from my damage. And I didn't do too bad on that pull, actually, now that I think of it, but still, I think survival is lacking quite a bit. And I know with the tier set, it will change, but the fact that classes have to rely on a tier set to do damage, like, feels bad. Like, shouldn't have to rely on a tier set to be meta, or even to be relevant in damage. And that's what I think Blizzard's kind of struggling with. Luckily though, all three hunter specs will be good when I get tier set. Uh, BM is I play mostly of right now just cause it does damage. Like other two don't right now. Uh, which yeah, like I said, as soon as you get tier set, that thing just changes. But yeah. Another thing I want to talk about. I'm sorry, I'm kind of just rambling on. Survival changes. I kind of hope they take like the dual wield survival esque back, or like have the ability to, so like you could have different abilities, or you know different play styles like two-handed fury and one-handed fury. I want like bringing that back would be fun. I'm and it might be just me, but I've been playing a little bit more classic lately, and like that kind of play style seems really fun. Like, but I think uh I think when you get the tier set, it will be in a good place. I don't thinking of it now, I don't know if it will be better than Marksman or BM. I think Marksman's AoE is gonna be by far better. Or Survival Single Target would be good, but just right now BM is overpowered, and that's why they got nerfed. Like they were doing too much damage. They still are doing an insane amount of damage, which is awesome. I'm glad one spec is doing good though. So you could you could definitely you can definitely see the fact that survival's struggling, and this is why I want to make this video. Like I know I keep like banging the fact that survival's bad, and I mean I don't think I'm playing it wrong. I was doing plus 20s last season, like top DPSing, but like I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. It could be the fact that I'm not used to this kind of build, but yeah. Hopefully they kind of fix survival a bit more. I know a lot of people like survival, and I'm one of them. But finding that niche could be really really fun. So going on back to the dungeon, this is our second boss. We pop Lust, and uh, Paladin gets a little bit too eager and gets eaten by the big dinosaur. Um, as you can see, like you know, not very good single target from survival at least right now. Although good single target, I'll say like a good single target. So you can feign death the fixate. You can also shadow meld someone else's fixate, which is amazing. I almost switched to Night Elf just for that, but yeah, I don't have a lot of money, so well, I don't want to spend money right now. And if I do, I'd probably switch to like Dwarf just for pushing keys. Luckily though, this boss is easy as long as you don't, mess it up. So like me and the mage will not take any like on the side damage for no reason, like unless we do something stupid. So you know, we won't die, but it will take a little bit longer. Luckily, again, hide there. I could turtle it, but I want to save turtle in case I need it for later. Um, Unluckily, the priest goes far away, and it kind of like messes it up. Luckily, the tank is smart and brings it back. I freezing trap. The monk paralyzes it, and kind of just going through a rotation of hitting mongoose by every time we can. Kill commanding it in the middle of it. Luckily though, consistent single target feels really really good. I think that's something that can bring out. One thing I do hope for with the next expansion, actually, I wanted to talk about that, is the hero talents. Kind of show like kind of getting the niches back, where like survival has their niche and Beastmaster has their niche and Marksman has their niche. Like a lot of it hasn't found the like niche. Like Beastmastery just now got back to a full pet build, which is amazing. I love it. I'm having a blast on it. I think it's my favorite build where you're just having like 7,000 pets. Survival, I think using Fear of the Eagle a bunch more, uh, and I think the new tier set is a stepping stone to it. Like have that fun ability do even more than normal, and I think it's really really gonna be fun. Marksman, I think, has kind of gotten boring. It's been like the same for a while, but I think with the new tier set with rapid fire, it could change. Like not like rotation or anything wise, but like, oh, I guess rotation because you get to hitless multi shots, which could feel amazing. Actually, it does feel amazing. But now I'm gonna talk about some positive things. I think if you liked Hunter last patch, well, if you like Survival Hunter last patch, nothing much is changing. You'll still run the Fury of the Eagle. So that rotation is good. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to run Fury of the Eagle anyways. It's part of our tier set. Luckily though, it is at least on single target, you get to take it away. Like you get to hit it and then instantly cancel it with abilities just because of the tier set. Like we'll always put in a point into Fury of the Eagle, which I think is pretty good. I prefer that honestly. But luckily, not a huge deal on the fact that there still will be more builds like this build, where it's less cooldown reliant and more just uh, consistent damage. But then there's the cooldown part. I think if you don't play the main marksmanship build, you're gonna struggle a bit on damage. And sort of same with BM when you get tier set. But yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk about, kind of the dungeons. Like, I know I'm kind of looking over this, but I mean, we've talked about Atal Dazar. I'm talking about Survival Hunter and Hunter and them. But the dungeons, like, I really like the dungeon rotation this patch. There's a couple I could eventually dislike, but right now they feel very, very good in the way that, like, there's big pulls, there's small pulls, the bosses are like difficult. I love the fact that the bosses are difficult. I think that's been the problem for a while, is either some are overpowered and one shot everybody, or some of them are just cakewalks, and they lean towards the first part was they just made everything overpowered, which didn't help the fun factor of bosses. But I think with a bunch of the bosses here, like they made it so if you played your cooldowns right, it you you get a bunch of just you just kill a boss. Like you don't have to worry if you play it wrong though, like you're dead. Like, and I think that's the way it should be, especially on hierarchies. Like, but like some of the hierarchies last patch, like you just die. Like you just die, especially as a hunter. Like I can't survive anything, which just sucks. Like that's why you don't see hunters in the top, you know. And granted, last patch they didn't do as much damage, but as a mage or a shadow priest, but it's why you haven't seen hunters in forever. The last time was season 4 Shadowlands, and that was just, no, season 3 Shadowlands. That was just because survival was absolutely overpowered. I want to talk about this pull. I think this is gonna be everyone's favorite pull of this dungeon. It's scary, but if played right, it is so much fun. I love it. Going into it, putting up my bombs, getting my death chalk him out there, putting explosive shot, fear of the eagle. I try to kick it. I was kind of casting while trying to kick it while that cast went off. It was kind of a struggle bus. But this, I think, is the problem with survival. Like, I felt like I played that pretty well, and yet I'm still only doing. I did 300k probably on that pack. And I know with the other build, if I had cooldowns, it would do more. But then other packs, I wouldn't do as much damage. Which, it feels bad. But luckily, we do it. We kill it. Tank's upset because of kicks, but who cares? Um, it's hard to kick as a melee sometimes. I don't know what he's getting at. This boss is fun. Tip, I think I said this on my Beast Mastery key. Uh, throw a freezing trap up there so you can, not deal with a pet. And luckily, it gets hit, which I hate them for it, but and then they don't even focus it. I have to kill it basically on my own. So that's right annoying. I took the mages, because screw mages, but I actually didn't mean to, but screw mages anyways. Unluckily, the whole point of this boss is to stand in the puddles to have it not heal up, but she stood in a sanguine, which, you know what that means. Heal them up. So, we finally get to the point where we can CC them, because there's not a bunch of AoE happening. You'll see me walk over here soon and throw a freezing trap. I think the tank pings just because he doesn't think I'm gonna do it, but Yep. He pings as soon as I turned around. So like I knew I was going to go do it. I was just waiting to get some more damage out, and I know I'm not doing much damage, but it is what it is as a survival. But yeah, it's a struggle bus sometimes with it, but hey, what we lack in damage, we bring in like CC and utility, which actually helps a lot. I keep forgetting I need to get used to putting Hunter's Mark on people, but I think it'll come with time because it literally changed this patch. So skipping through this real quick, just to get to last boss. I don't know what this tank was thinking with how he's wanting to do it. He wanted to follow us instead of we put it in, let's say that corner right there, and then he walks that way. He wanted us to put it like where we were going, which I don't know why. He yells at the mage because he's not stacking, but mages, they don't stack very well. Like why do you want him over there? I don't get it. Like, but just put it in that corner and then run this way. We're doing it so bad, and which means I get hit by a spider. Luckily, I get B-Rest. I'm kind of demoralized at this point. I just kind of want to do this dungeon and get it over with. We do time it, which excites me, but also like I don't know. I felt like I didn't play well, but I do want to put this dungeon out there to show that you know there are specs struggling way more than some that are getting buffs. And even BM, I want to talk about that real quick. They got nerfed, and I know they're doing insane damage. Like I do really really good damage on my BM, but you have DH that's doing 20,000 times more, and I'm like they haven't got nerfed yet. I don't understand how that's a thing. Like I know they got nerfed 7 times in the PTR, but they're still doing that much damage. Like it's crazy. And actually, looking at it now, like luckily I caught it, but the consistency of my damage has, caught me up a little bit to the other guys. So that's something to be happy about. But again, I can't say it enough. Like it's just a struggle bus right now. But I think once we get tier set, I'm gonna do some more marksman and survival testing and BM testing, and do some more keys. And sorry about me complaining. I really don't like the fact that some specs are just getting absolutely looked over. But hey, that's a plus 20. Uh, what I gotta say? Uh, survival kind of struggling, but we can still do it. We can still do it. 100k, 108k isn't bad, and that's consistently like through the whole dungeon, not like what the paladin did and is like 500k each pull and well every other pull or something. But if you like what you saw, sorry for the kind of lame key. I wanted to put it out there that I've actually done a plus 20, but please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And hopefully you're having a good 10.2. And let me know how you guys are doing. Uh, Also, let me know if the other build on survival has been good. I want to try it, but doing these keys on a survival kind of feels bad right now just because not the tier set. But if you're doing it, hey, let me know. If Well, have a good day and peace.